Today we will see chapter 3, soil forming rock. First we will see introduction. Rocks are the material that form the essential part of the earth's soil crust. Rocks are hard mass or mineral matter comprising one or more rock forming minerals. Rocks are formed from the molten material known as magma. The study of rock is called petrology. Petrology deals with the description of rock. Petrogenesis is the study of the origin of rocks. The rock is considered mass of one or more mineral. Rocks are a mixture of mineral and therefore their physical and chemical composition vary with the characteristics of mineral present in the rim. Rock is formed due to cooling and solidification of molten magma. It is a mixture of one or more minerals. First igneous rocks are formed, then it is converted to sedimentary metamorphic rock. So it is a figure of the earth crust. Earth crust is equal to mineral plus rocks. Formation of rocks, cooling and consolidation of molten magma which were on the surface of the earth, igneous or primary rock. Transportation and cementation of primary rocks. Then alteration of the existing primary and secondary rocks. So it is a metamorphic rocks. So here it is a rock cycle. Then classification of rocks are divided into three natural groups based on the mode of origin or formation. These are igneous rock, sedimentary rock and metamorphic rock. Then it is a classification of rocks. So example of the igneous rock is given, sedimentary and metamorphic. So here you can see that in sedimentary the example is conglomerate, sandstone, limestone and shell. In metamorphic the examples are marble, genesis and slate. Then igneous rocks. These are the first formed in the earth crust due to the solidification of molten magma. Based on the mode of formation, they are further classified as extrusive and intrusive rocks. So it is a figure of the igneous rocks. So you see that the black color, so the extrusive or igneous rocks, whereas the red color it is intrusive or igneous rocks. They are on the deeper side of the earth. Then igneous rock, extrusive rock or volcanic rocks. These rocks are formed due to the concentration of magma on the surface of the earth. The magma when it flows on the earth surface is called lava. That is, the example is basalt. Intrusive rocks or plutonic rocks. These rocks are produced due to the solidification of magma below the surface of the earth. Plutonic intrusive rocks solidifies at greater depth, and hyperbasal rock solidifies at shallow depth from the surface. That is granite, cyanide, diorite, gabbro, etc. Rock are formed in vertical cracks are called dikes, and vertical cracks are called shales. Vesicular rock, molten magma cooled on the surface, stream of water is trapped into the rock and form vesicles. Classification rock on the basis of the silica content. So when there is a more than 65% silica, then it is called acid rock. The example is granite and rhyolite. Similarly, when the silica content is greater around between 56 to 65%, then it is called intermediate. The example is syenite and trichyte and andesite. When the silica content in between 40 to 55%, then it is called basic rock. The example is gabbro and basalt. Sedimentary rock, formed from sediment through brought by water, also called as aqueous rock. The sediment may contain various types of substances and size of particles. The particles are cemented by silica and oxide or lime to give concentrated form. The rocks are mostly deposited in layers or strata, so called as stratified rocks. Sometimes they are formed by cooling evaporation or by direct chemical precipitation. Anyway, they are of secondary origin. These rocks are also called as classic rock. Example, sandstone. Based on the origin, the sediment rocks are classified as residual, laterite, transported, deposit, a solid in suspension. Example is sandstone. deposited by chemical precipitation, example limestone, deposited through the agency of water, organic matter, that is example is peat. Sediment rock classified on the basis of the grain size, rock with the boundary pebble size, minerals, rudiceous conglomerate, rock with standside particle, arenaceous sandstone, rock with the silt size particle, silt rock, siltstone, rock with clay size particle, argillaceous, that is example is shale. Then it is a sedimentary rock. Here you can see that sandstone, shale and limestone are the sedimentary rocks, and their mineral composition and color and structure has been given in column number 3 and 4. Then sedimentary rocks divided into 6 groups: arenaceous, argillaceous, calcareous, carbonaceous rocks, siliceous rock, precipitated salts. Now we can see the metamorphic rock. The igneous and sediment rock often, after they were first formed, sometime undergo a change. When the change is considerable, the rock is said to have undergone metamorphic, and the new rock is known as the metamorphic rock. The metamorphism is brought about by the action of the water, heat and pressure, or by the combined action of any one of these or all. The changes brought about by water is hydrometamorphism. The change brought about by heat is thermometamorphism. The change brought about by pressure is dynamometamorphism. The changes that are brought about are both physical and chemical in character. In some cases, the metabolism is so pronounced that the new rock looks quite different from the origin. Then it is a metamorphic rock. Example: sandstone, quartzite, shellstone, slate, mica, schist, limestone converted to marble, granite converted to granite, and dolerite converted to hornblende genesis. So metamorphic details the action of water tend to remove some material and introduce new material. By the introduction of cementing material like silica, lime or iron oxide, loose sand may be turned into sandstone or sandstone into the quartzite. By the removal of certain constituent by the percolating water, basalt or granite may be converted into laterite. The action of it hardens the rock and develops new crystal in it. Crystalline marble is produced this way from amorphous limestone by the action of heat and pressure. Due to the pressure, the crystal of the origin rock gets press or flattened, and the new rock is foliated. When foliation is slight, the layers are inseparable, and it is called genesis. Its formation is complete within a distinct and separable layer. It is called a schist. It is an example of the metamorphic rock. So here the marble and slate is the classical example of the metamorphic rock. So here you can see that the mineral composition of metamorphic rock has been given, and the rocks are genesis formed from granite, alternative light and dark color banded. So similarly it has been given schist, quartzite, slate and marble. The mineral composition of the rock, of the important rock, first given igneous rock. The example is granite, syenite and granodiorite. Then a grain size has been given: plutonic, holocrystalline, essential mineral has also given. So granite, quartz, syenite, predominant quartz plus orthoclase and edible. Then igneous rock, so it is a given. The example is diorite, gibbro, dolerite and basalt. Then sedimentary, sandstone, shale and limestone. Then metamorphic. So in metamorphic, the example is genesis, schist, quartzite, slate and marble are